don't know why they always settle for brass tacks. Why wouldn't you go for something a little bit more?
Yeah, I don't know. The only person I know who says like brass tacks a lot is Jimmy in Better Call Saul. He says that all the time. You know, of course I'm referring to Saul from Breaking Bad.
Sure, yeah.
He's Jimmy in Better Call Saul. He always talks about brass tacks all the time. It's like part of his character, I don't know. When you said that, I just instantly saw Bob Odenkirk's face. New season coming out soon. Excited about that.
I've never watched it, you know, but I'm going to watch some Overwatch right now, because wouldn't you know it, Sassen's on the Pharah. Attune's going to be on that Widowmaker, and Yaki on the Tracer here for now. Duking it out with Just over on the low ground.
Let's take a look at how Sashen performs here. As Yaki's looking for the flank, Genie's already dead. This is not a good start.
Yeah, he's going to get taken down. So FPV Space come up with that first frag, but it's a trade on the Zenyatta's. Undyne will also fall. Yaki just going to be spraying away at the tank. Sassen comes up with 2. It's that kill. Fuse going to go down. And maybe Foxes can actually find that first cap, but as I say, that Sam's going to be knocked out of the back. Yaki finding that one, and Overwatch will go down. Foxes starting the cap as Sassen pushes forward, looks to take down Bianca. Will be able to do so with the help of Genie. Still going to be a bit of a brawl coming through, but Oberon gets taken down solo. Yaki taking a couple of hits, does have the kite back, and it seems like Foxes might just be able to lock it in, but MVP, yeah, they're fighting over it quite a bit, but Yaki stands off the point for the moment. Jump forward, Pulse Bomb going to come down, Jug Max going to go out. Yaki gets a double kill, but will get punished by Sassen.
Should be, anyways, as I say it. Sashen is uncontested. They have not dealt with him, and they're you know, playing this with a Widow as well. Just has not been able to get line of sight. Sashen continues to find kills.
Gets another one there on Undyne yet again. Takes him down. Bianca going up into the air, trying to poop, get some damage in onto Overwatch. He's getting focused out, will get taken down. Yaki finding that killing blow. Bianca going to get knocked out of the mech, but throws in the self-destruct just to buy some time. Zone them back. The pulse bomb's out from Just. We'll take down the Baby Diva, so no remech coming through. MVP Space still not able to get this flip. Point blank here. And Sassen just starts trying to punch Attune as he's hopping around. The barrage is going to come down. They'll get rid of Oberon, and Foxes actually will be maintaining control for now, nearly at 50%.
Yeah, Sashen just staying alive for the longest time, but he does buy up to about 50% here as the cap starts to come back through. They're tagging back in, but this will be the flip coming through.
Yeah,
the big success story here, though, is for Sashen on this Pharah. Yaki gets a bit ahead of himself.
A little too aggro.
He's able to stay alive and outmaneuver Attune on the Widowmaker. We talked about the McCree being an issue he'll face perhaps as we go into University, but showing this prowess on the Pharah already is a good start for the Foxes in terms of how the series will go. If he can continue to kind of buy time, carry, do consistent damage, he can open up windows for the Foxes.
Well, pushing around the backside, Yaki looking for the kill, not going to be able to get the one clip on Genie, but also holds that pulse bomb, so can eliminate him immediately after that Transcendence is gone. We'll see if he can get it, so hasn't thrown it. Attune under fire, manages to get a kill on the Just, so staying alive. And that 1v1 is a Widow versus a Tracer. Pulse bomb out from Yaki, getting a bit of damage through, but not going to be enough to flop stand out of the back. Goes straight back into the fray. Sassen's going to be eliminated. MVP Space maintaining control, self-destructing the stand, manages to find a kill on a Fuse, and now it's going to be Undyne going down. Attune also falling. MVP Space suffering heavy losses as Bianca will also be eliminated. Oberon's the only one, but doesn't want to stick around. Is going to have to use the Primal Rage, wants to hold that for the retake, so Foxes get control back.
Right now, Yaki's playing very aggressively. You know, we've seen a few Tracers throughout Overwatch history here in Korea that have just been looking for picks, looking for backline kills rather than trying to just do consistent damage in the fights. And I think that's rather what they need than his aggressive style right now, because he's getting picked several times, having to use recall early, and the Foxes are trading up because of it.
Just pushing forward, Pulse going to be on the back of Bianca, will be taking him out of that mech, but kills are still coming through from the side of MVP Space. That's going to be a 2-for-1. Now a 3-for-1 here in their favor, 3-for-2. Undyne's now going to be rezzing, Fuse gets taken out, but Mac and Stanville's going to be eliminated. No tank line to stick around. It's really just going to be just maybe trying to buy some time. They try to force out the OT. He'll be kited away. Real MVP regain control, 50% moving up. They stop it just before 99.
Real credit to our observing team actually for this match, because it's a very scrappy one. But they're showing a lot of, I think what's important is the Tracer play here that has been very hit or miss on both sides. Has actually really been mostly what's deciding who flips the point.
Well, Sassen trying to make you a bit of a liar here. Comes through, takes out Fuse. Transcendence going to be out from Genie. Undyne nearly with his own. Barrage still a ways away from Sassen, but he's raining down rockets from above. Undyne's going to pop that Transcendence immediately, but Oberon has already fallen. Bianca's out of the mech, so he's not keeping any tanks alive. It's really just him buying time for himself and for the rest of MVP as a whole to try to get closer and closer to that 90% mark, but the flip is coming through. Foxes, they're going to have this. Can they tag it in? Yes, they do. OT taken away, but Bianca's still dead, just now rezzing. Attune takes a shot, he gets jumped on, he goes down. I'm so confused that they're still trying to run this Widowmaker in instead of the McCree. And now it's just heavy losses coming through as Foxes look to take the opening round on Oasis.
I mean, Sashin is just killing it. I mean, he really, really is. He's doing so much damage here. He's uncontested ever. Attune is never able to get line of sight.
Destruct up, they dash away. No one gonna get picked by that one, and Bianca can't get back into the back. Oberon just coming back through. And that's gonna be it. Gardens, 182. Foxes pick up the win. Really odd. Again, I'll go back to it. I feel like the McCree in this situation would have been so much more useful for MVP.
Especially,
you have the Tracer dashing around, get the flashbang headshots in, just snipe him out of the sky. You're a lot more mobile with that pick compared to the Widowmaker. Getting line of sight is a lot easier for you.
I mean, especially given that Yaki was really underperforming on the Tracer. Going back to it, yeah, you know, you did say, you know, in a way, Sasha may be a liar getting those kills there, but we knew he was popping off. We never saw Attune's field of view because it would have been boring and uninteresting. He was never able to find line of sight. He was never able to be relevant on the Widow.
Once, and he was like in the spawn because he had just died.
And like, the winning trades for Just versus Yaki on the Tracer is why he was never able to get into position. Even though he wasn't being killed, he wasn't able to do damage. But now we're going to University, where this is going to favor MVP space a lot, you'd have to say. With Attune on the McCree, he's the better McCree player. They have Oberon, who's the better Reinhardt right now in this meta. If they can't win here, it does not bode well for MVP for the rest of the series.
I mean, that would be the first map win for Fox, just picked up. If they can get it, but Yaki gets a nice move up there onto Just, taking him out. The concussive shot. Sasson coming around the back, gets some hits in onto Undyne, but the pocket is available from Fuse, helping to just keep that Zenyatta alive. As Attune going to be building up very rapidly towards that Deadeye compared to Just, who was taken out at the start, so going to have over double his ult gain at the moment.
Notice the positioning of these heroes for MVP space just out the gate, making it very difficult for Attune, or excuse me, for Just to do damage. Attune's doing way more. He's got 40% more ult charge right now in the fight without really getting any kills. I'm trying to flank here, gets spotted, just cannot get into position to do that burst damage that McCree offers.
Also, I didn't notice, but if Stan started with this Zarya, he's only at 21%. Bianca's at 60. I don't know. I don't recall off the bat if this is what they were running.
I think it was.
But if it was, then that's a really damning sign for them. Mac trying to push forward, tries to work his way in onto the point, nearly does have that Earth Shatter ready to go, but Attune with the Deadeye first, pops it, takes down Sasson, flashbang in, helps spray down Just at point blank range, Undyne. Gonna get the killing blow, and Mac will be eliminated as that nice flick to the side from Attune. As that Earth Shatter becomes available, Mac falls. And now it's just going to push back, get as many stagger kills as we possibly can. MVP, Mirage nearly ready to go. They have the Graviton Surge.
This is what we expected to see from MVP, right? They have the better frontline tank line for this style of play. They have the better Zarya. They have the better Reinhardt. And Attune is the better McCree. When you put all those things together, you know, it doesn't matter that Sasha may be better than Yaki on the far right now because he just cannot do damage. Grab ready here for Bianca. The counter grab could be ready soon, but it may not be relevant.
Shatter's going to come down. The shield's going to be up. Blocks it all out. Grab comes through. Yaki gets two. Will get taken down by Sasson from behind, but still going to be MVP space maintaining control now at 80% here on University. And they're still 25% away from that grab.
Yeah, they're just going to hold this Shatter to try to stagger them from touching the point. And Attune can flank with a Deadeye. Like, getting onto this point is nigh impossible right now for the Foxes without a grab. Here we go.
Good opening though. Mirage, that Transcendent's not going to be there to deny. It's going to be Just taking down the Fire Strike, finds the kill. Sasson gets rid of Oberon, so now no shield up. Oberon doesn't find much for that Shatter, it would seem. 99% into the overtime. The Foxes finding some ground to stand on. Might be able to get this flip. They could eliminate the Pharmacy duo. Yaki taking a lot of damage, falls low. Sasson gets the hit. And that is going to be Fuse trying to make his retreat. Will make his way out of there too. Flipping through the Tracer, then back to the McCree.
The Transcendence would have easily been able to either save Oberon or allow Fuse to get a res off, but as you say, that was a really nice flank from Just. He gets the opening kill. That's how they take this point. Now they walk up with the ult advantage here to the front to defend.
That's just going to be the barrage coming down. Nice bubble thrown in, making
nice
sure
flash.
that Sasson will be able to stay alive, and Attune going to get taken down from the side. So Barrage going to be used. Graviton Surge still ready to go.
Yeah, this is a really good position for the Foxes to really turn this map around now. They certainly can with their ult advantages if they use them staggered like this one by one efficiently. That's where the term ult efficiency comes from. The term coined by Monty back in the day. If they can use their ults efficiently here, they can build through this 60% deficit that they have right now. can see Grab is being held for Stan for the perfect moment. He wants to use it behind this wall.
Well, Grab's going to come out first. It's going to be Stan tossing his in response. Transcendence is here from Undyne to keep everybody alive, and Yaki with his barrage manages to take down Just, but the rest is going to be coming through from Overwatch. The Rocket's not going to get the connection, cannot finish him off before that comes through. Just at the moment, going to be the only one on the side of the Foxes who does have an ultimate ready to roll. Gets the Deadeye. Attune's going to fall. Bianca going down. They trade one back onto the enemy with Creep, but then immediately Undyne's going to fall. That's a 3-for-1 special for the side of the Foxes, who are maintaining this hold. And if they can close this out, again, this is their first map win of this season.
They need to get a pick MVP Space does onto either the Reinhardt, if he's out of position, or onto Just, so that way Attune can get into position, they can actually get onto the point, and Yaki can actually shoot rockets. But you know, right now Just is keeping him at a bay. They cannot get into position. So you can see he's trying to hit Jungmak here with a concussive, trying to knock him out of the position here to block the front. Yep. They're just having a lot of trouble because no one is able to touch Just right now in the back. He's got the Deadeye.
It's going to be a pop from Attune. He's looking for it. Earthshatter going to come down, catches a few, and Attune gets rid of Sasson. Now Stan going to go down. In exchange for the flashbangs here as the Crease start duking it out, but it's going to be Just on the retreat as MVP Space gets in onto the point, forces this OT flip, and it's a perfect time for them because it's just going to take all the way down. 100-99. This is closer than MVP would ever like it to be against the Foxes, but they at least extend Oasis to that third and final round on City Center.
I think there's a big learning point here for how this map is played. You know, you mentioned at the beginning, Stan 1, he had 20% of his ultimate versus like around 70 on the other side. And you could see how when the point was flipped away from MVP, how difficult it was to approach, how difficult it was for Yaki to get those shots off. That Deadeye was really the winning moment because they killed the Pharah, allowed that rotation indoors. But like, it's a big reminder that on University, the team that controls the point has a massive advantage in terms of positioning with these compositions. It's so difficult to approach. So even with ult advantages, MVP Space couldn't do it efficiently. It was finally that Deadeye that came through and won it there. The reason why Stan only had 20% ult was because he couldn't get into position to do damage at all, to build any of that ult charge. So now we're going to a more neutral zone here. And let's see if this time we're going to see the Tracers. Actually, it's only Sasson on the Tracer this time, just switching over to the Widow. That's an interesting pick for this player. Let's see how he does against it, too, in the veteran.
Well, right now, MVP going to be first one's in onto the center of the point, but Undyne's going to be the first one to fall. We'll trade the Zenyatta for Jungmak, and maybe we'll just see Fuse come in with a res. The point's going to be unlocked. Foxes are capping it at the moment. As MVP Space going to be a little bit late to tag in. Nearly get it. He's over on rejoins here onto the point. Stan 1 playing forward, Discord Orb down onto the mech, but not going to be taken out yet. Takes a smattering of damage, but overall will still be safe as Sasson goes for a wraparound. Comes forward, trying to get in onto Yaki. Gets a little bit of damage in with the pulse pistol, but dashes forward and helps finish off Undyne. Attune wins the Widowmaker battle, and Jungmak yet again going to die, but now Overwatch also going to fall, so no res available to bring the Winston back in, but despite all this, Foxes get the initial cap, but MVP Space, they push forward. They're going to be looking to flip this one before it even hits 10%.
Yeah, we're going to be a nice flip here, early for Space. They do end up with a small ult advantage here as well, and Attune has this line of sight advantage over Just at the moment. As you can see here, just over there on the left side. And, you know, no one is able to pressure him at the moment. He's got the infra sight. You may want to pop it here in just a second. Yeah, just make sure there's no flank going on. You can confirm that now. But MVP Space, as long as they play this patiently and use the almost ready Transcendence, there's no way they lose this on the first attack from the Foxes.
Well, Jungmak already dead, so Foxes pretty limited. Overwatch did use the Valkyrie here, but now Genie's going to get taken down, so kind of just getting rid of that Mercy ultimate for free is MVP Space. I'll be pretty happy about that.
Yaki almost overextending again to his death here, this time on the Pharah, but thinks better of it and backs away. Wanted to get that kill onto Just to stagger the spawns a little bit further, but backs off. So traded Valkyries. Tank ultimate's not ready for both of the tanks on the Foxes. Jungmak's still 20% away, and he's just getting pelted here by the Pharah at the moment. Notice he's not being shot by Widow because Widow can't get a line of sight around the right side of this gateway here. Just furthering that idea I was talking about earlier about defender's advantage on control maps, especially Oasis.
Bianca, his way back, dive in from Jungmak. Doesn't have that primal range yet, but they can't force him down fast enough. So now we'll have it available. Self-destruct comes up. Trying to identify where the hell the explosions have, but it's not going to catch anybody regardless. Oberon up in the primal, goes into the back line, trying to force out maybe an ultimate from Genie. Overwatch, one more shot, will get taken down, and he follows up for the 2K onto the supports. Foxes yet again. stomped out of this push. MVP space. Still plenty of ultimates in the war chest. Only the Transcendence here from the Foxes. Everything else so far away.
The swap to the Pharah here is just a sign of desperation out of the Foxes. Sasha just going back to a more comfort pick here. You know, the wasted self-destruct, I think they're trying to launch it over the wall. I think he missed. Jungmak is now, again, the primary source of damage, or he's the primary battery of the damage the Foxes are taking right now.
Stan's already out of the back. Genie not able to keep him alive. Barrage going to be coming down as Yaki jumps in, gets one. Self-destruct from Bianca. Shut him out, though. Genie and Just both going to get popped. Undyne stays alive with his own Transcendence, and now it's really just going to be Jungmak alone here onto the point. Everybody seeing the monkey, we'll just go ahead and turn over. Start taking him down as it's OT ticking away. It plummets, and MVP space will be able to pick up the win here on Oasis. 100-8 in the end, but closer for that. But so far, Foxes still not going to have a map win. That pushes them to 0-13.
This is probably going to be our closest map of the 4, right? When you look at stats alone, historically given, obviously, Foxes were able to be, you know, if you kind of subtract and kind of do some math here, looking at these stats, like last season, they had all 4 wins on Control from last season. So because they're winless this season, they've already lost 3. They were actually 4-3. They had a positive record on this map type before this season. So most of those records were from previous meta and a previous squad. But even still, like, you can see that they knew how to play around this map. They got to play Sasha on the Pharah. For those who didn't watch Apex, like, I'll tell you guys a short story. The first time Sasha was fielded, I was casting with Achilios. I talked about his Pharah play and translated his ID from Korean. Korean is the Korean word Sashin is like Reaper or
God
like
of Death.
God of Death. It's basically like the Japanese word Shinigami, if you're familiar with that term. And
I know you are, you weebs.
Yeah, of course. They watch Death Note, all right.
Yeah.
So he popped off on the Pharah, he killed it, and I was like, okay, this player needs to be subbed in more often. This is like the guy we were talking about. I gave this whole like basically almost monologue of like why he's so
great. This is gonna help the Foxes, and they sub him out.
And then instantly the sub graphic comes out, and he was subbed out. He was then played exclusively as a Pharah on Control only for that entire season of Apex, where they were, you know, able to end up getting top 4 in the end. But you know, it hasn't really looked that promising since then. And he's obviously no longer just a Pharah player. He's played a lot of different heroes. He played Sombra last season. Stand 1 fan here, no doubt.
That's a nice little diva you got coming through.
Yeah, that's a cool drawing.
But yeah, Fox is fighting. Well, they're trying. They got very close there to actually picking up the map win. It's probably one of the closest maps that they've played so far.
Okay.
This one I'm not too sure.
This is who wants to cheer for MVP, basically, but like in a positive manner, not like the way I just said that.
Who wants to cheer for MVP?
It says like the winning team is MVP, like, you know, who wants to cheer with me, basically.
They don't look that decisive on the sign though.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's going. I guess it's saying like it's me, like I'm the one cheering for MVP, but an MCD fan, we'll see if he ends up coming out in this series. May certainly call for it later. I know there's a lot of disagreements on this, especially on the Korean side, but I think that MCD is the better Zenyatta over Genie, but I do think Genie has the better Moira. We'll see if that ends up being relevant later on in the series, but we could see sub. Okay, this looks like a little bit, this is a bit of a
This is
dark
an abstract.
sign. Yeah.
An abstract Foxes.
This is what this guy feels about the Foxes this season. He's like, what? He's like, I couldn't put it into words, you know.
They're all over the place. It's just a mess.
Well, it's basically like, I literally, what the Korean caster just said, I could hear them and said, like, he's showing, like, he wants to cheer for the Foxes, but he had to put how much he wants to cheer for them into picture form to kind of describe what it is. And it feels that way. Looks like we're going to have no substitutions here as we head into Hybrid. And in terms of map stats here, obviously pretty weak across the board for both these teams. But the Foxes have picked Numbani more than any other map. That was with Adora, but it is their worst map historically as well. Let's find out if they want to take us there. Nope.
Okay. This was unexpected.
A tough call to pull this one against the enemy Widow. They're going to be playing against a Toon here. It's not subbed out. Just versus a Toon, a tough Widow versus Widow Also, you're going to be required to flex onto tanks, onto A, so you're going to be in with Oberon and Bianca with the Reinhardt Zarya. And on top of that, if they're reliant on the Pharah play through point B, which I think is why they picked this for Sashin, then they're still going to have to deal with a Toon, shutting him down. And Yaki has not really been underperforming on the Pharah tonight, so it's an intelligent pick in some ways. It plays to their strengths, but I don't know if this map choice is going to be the right one at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, especially when it's MVP's turn to attack, could just see, you know, basically the Goats comp come through from them and throw a Toon over onto the likes of the Hanzo. We know that he is very, very good at that pick and could just shut them out, but a bold choice. See if Foxes have something special in mind. Why couldn't this be a real theme park, though? That'd be nice.
Oh, when it was announced, man, I was like, what?
Blizzard's actually building one?
And then Jeff Cutman's like, and it will be in the client in 2 weeks. And I was like, oh,
but it's
okay.
playable now on the BlizzCon floor.
Yeah. Well,
they could have just bought the one that they built illegitimately in China. There is that Blizzard theme park.
God, yeah.
I don't know if I'm not allowed to talk about that, but
please just like create your own content. Stop stealing other people's
You can definitely go Google that. It looks really interesting.
We live in a world where people steal other people's content, man, like more than no other. Every time I go on Facebook, I see like 8 watermarks on a video in my feed. I'm like, guys, like, no. Anyway, attack here is going to be the Goats. And this is what I was afraid of for the A defense. It's over on stand 1. Oh, no, it's actually the other way around. My bad. They're defending first.
Yeah. Well, charge forward here. Foxes already nearly getting that first hit. They pushed him quite far back, so Oberon losing his ground with his Orisa.
Genie gets to play the barrier
back in.
And he's already at 60% of an ult here. Coalesce is going to be ready in just a sec.
Bianca in onto the point, Undyne, trying to get rid of Jungmak, gets the hook, runs out of shots, and now everyone's collapsing in. He'll take a breather, but I don't think he's going to be able to stay alive. It's a little bit more damage, but distracts him for the moment. But you can see MVP actually don't get stationed back up onto the point fast enough to maintain control. And now with Oberon falling, Foxes for a very fast cap on the point A.
Yeah, they crushed it. I mean, it's very difficult to defend this type of attack no matter what comp you're running. And unfortunately, Undyne just didn't really get the hooks he was looking for. You got Genie on his best hero. I did flub the teams up for just a second, but I was also worried the Foxes would not have a good Goats attack because they're not really a team known for that comp. But they made it work. Blizzard World, again, very difficult to defend this. Coalescence is used here to regain control of the cart. They still have that. They have high ground here with this grab surge. Doesn't look like MVP knows about it.
Much better grab build this time from Stan. Tosses it, but I believe it's going to be devoured.
Exactly.
Yeah, Bianca just going to go ahead and eat that one away. Yaki still gets a kill. Over onto Just, follows up, gets Genie, and Foxes might just get shut out of this push now. And MVP Space can go ahead and charge forward towards the cart.
The second you position like that with this composition, and you fail to get the combo, the enemy Pharah is behind your Reinhardt. And then what are you going to do? You cannot do anything except just take damage and die. They run back to the respawn as fast as their legs can carry them. And then they switch the comp up. So this is, again, one of the reasons why they picked this map. Sashin Pharah on B. Let's see how he performs. Yaki's already taken out Genie.
Yep. It's going to be delaying that Transcendence even further as Yaki pushes forward. Now going to be looking to take Sassin out of the skies. Barrage nearly ready to roll. Halfway to the Riptire.
You can see in this moment that Just cannot hit Yaki. It's just physically impossible, and so the Widow pick here isn't useful until they can push around this corner. They may never if this continues, but you can see the struggle. Okay, now he's finally in position to take some shots here.
He's trying, but it's a wraparound from Yaki. Just getting hit. More rockets coming through. Now turning to look at Genie. He'll get taken down, corners himself, and the splash damage is just too much. He comes up with another one, and Yaki is just having a field day on the Pharah.
And that's a spatial awareness problem. Just had line of sight if he had just turned his eyes. Oh. He's dead now. He could have saved the life of Genie there had he been more aware of where Yaki was. But they were so hell-bent on getting through the gate to give him further forward line of sight, which is not a bad thing to be doing, obviously, but just having a faster reaction on where Yaki was positioned, where he was going to flank from, could have probably prevented that death. Either way, I mean, he's pocketed by Fuse now.
Oh, takes a lot of damage, but manages to stay alive for a moment. Gets that barrage kill on the Jungmak, but then Sassin follows up, finishes him off. Stan gonna make it back into the mech, doesn't find anything with the self-destruct, but it's gonna be Foxes finally able to get back in onto the cart. Sassin gets tagged up, Yaki finds that direct hit after being res back through from Fuse. Dude's still spamming away. Has the Riptire ready to go. Now it's gonna pop this one immediately, trying to bring it around the back.
Flanking over here. Does find Just.
Okay. Just alleviate the pressure for Yaki seems to be the game plan, and if they can do that, it's going to work really well.
They still control the archway, which is the most important thing here, heading to B. If you can take it away, you can get Just on the high ground, but if you can't get through the door, it just doesn't matter. As you can see here, the cart's rolling back, and that's going to make it even more difficult to approach. Just is going to make the swap onto McCree, in fact. He's done with dealing with this attempt to get long-range sight. He's going to try to just more aggressively deal with the tanks and the Pharah if it comes his way. I actually like the swap, given the situation.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a tune going down, so Just already with the McCree. Finding some success, gets jumped on, the pocket, trying to come through, trying to keep him alive, but it's not going to happen over on off-screen. He is able to kill him. The cart inching forward again. Saucin with a barrage, ready to roll. Would love to get Bianca out of the mech first. Might just get his wish as Bianca, yep, just gonna get popped out here. On the cart, they'll boop him back, they'll take him down. Barrage gonna be held. They also have a Transcendence to stay alive, but they finally get this moving. But you can see how much time was bought by MVP Space on this whole Yaki's Pharah. Just doing so much work for them.
Yeah, and just having that ability to pop in between the left and the right side of the gate there, did so much. Attune's got low ground line of sight here, but it's not a great line just yet. Just does make the swap back to Widow because they have this control. They need to snowball this, or they're again just going to get staggered, and
Saucin killed himself with a barrage. Just kills Attune, but I don't have much more to say after that.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to stay alive very long unless he gets the hell out of here. There's the stagger kill on the stand. MVP Space walk away with ult advantage as well. Oberon's got the Primal Rage, and once again, we're back to square one. There's no control of the archway, so getting in here is such a challenge for the Foxes. Look at how much damage Jungmak gets for showing his face.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of damage there on the Saucin. Yaki nearly coming up with kill, forces that recall. Now just going to turn over. Get this pulse bomb ready to go. Toss it into the backside. He's got a great angle here on the Genie. Forces out the Transcendence. Pulse ready. Just hold this until the Transcendence is gone. Jungmak dives in pretty deep. Undyne answers with his own Transcendence, and Jungmak will fall. Bianca coming up with that kill. Yaki dashing around, trying to keep Saucin off of the back line. Bianca will get the kill. And Foxes looking at being held basically at the archway this entire time. Got such a fast cap onto A. But now it's 20 seconds remaining.
And the gambit of picking Blizzard World has failed. They got A with a comp they're not even normally known to be strong with. It's very difficult to defend that comp right now in this meta. But approaching B, they just never could get Just into a position to do anything. This is their last shot.
Attune's dead, so just find that opening kill. But is that enough? Just gonna allow them to get in onto the card. They tag in for the overtime, but Jungmak's gonna fall immediately. Bianca still stand alive now. He's gonna toss out that self-destruct stand. Playing very far forward. He's gonna get knocked out. Should get taken down. The pulse bomb tossed in just for good measure. Switch over from Mokorochi, maybe trying to find that res. Devour there from the defense matrix onto the pulse bomb, so Saucin's not gonna find a damn thing. Genie returns, has the Transcendence buffed in a desperate attempt to keep this thing rolling, but it's just not going anywhere. Now the OT bar starts plummeting. They tag in yet again. Yaki still alive, still just spraying them down. Mac falls low here, even with the Primal Rage up. They step away for the moment, and they will lose it.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes is stepping away for a moment at that point. They failed. They chose this map. They were hoping that Just would get line of sight and that Sasha would carry them through to victory. Perhaps they expected that instead of a more traditional defensive setup with the Winston Widow for MVP, that Oberon would stick with the Reinhardt, which would have made getting through the gate a lot easier because it would be able to circumvent the Reinhardt barrier by going over that archway. I call it a gate. It's not really a gate. There's no doors on it, but it acts as a gate almost metaphorically in this case, because if you can pass through that gate, you've won the team fight, you can get on the high ground, you can control with your Widows, but if you cannot, line of sight advantage, disadvantage with your Widow, line of sight, disadvantage with your McCree, and they were trying to run there, even though the McCree makes it a lot easier. I like that swap a lot. And your Pharah, it has to expose itself to a Widow who does have line of sight. It's the burden of being an attacker in a situation like this. You have to approach an enemy who's waiting for your approach, has their crosshairs aimed at where you will come out. That's why every time Jungmak came out of the gate, it was just instantly Discord on his face. He's eating left clicks from the Zenyatta. He's eating the sniper shots. They failed to do what they planned to do on this map, which is to dominate B and then hope for a stronghold on A. The stronghold is still a possibility here as they run the same Orisa comp, the catch-all comp here, as I like to call it, because you never know what the attackers are going to run. In this meta, it's been pretty popular to run goats, but you mentioned earlier very intelligently that Attune may just run attack Hanzo here to break through the tanks and to get the first point early. They're teasing us a little bit here. We'll find out in a moment, but that is a strong possibility that we just see the Hanzo attack or we see goats.
Thank you for talking for so long. You allowed me to calm down. I turned to the side, and there was a spider getting ready to crawl onto my coffee cup where I put my mouth. And you know that I don't like spiders very much.
I don't like spiders either, man.
So I had a bit of a freak out moment, quickly grabbed a tissue and had to squash the poor guy.
All right, well, look at this. We got Sombra scouting out the comp, and we're going to the Hanzo variation. So here we go.
Who would have thought? Okay. Toon. If you're looking to shatter them, Toon will get taken down, though. Sassen comes up with the opening kill. So
that's the most important kill as well.
Trap going to be thrown down just in front of the tavern here as they start pushing their way in.
Yeah, the res comes through, so he's still upright, but they don't have a second life for him here. This is going to be it. Oh, big
pop-up. He's going to knock Oberon up onto the high ground. Very close to them. Not sure if that's what they would have wanted, but he does drop back down. Sassen nearly with a riptire. Coming through, now has it, but Orochi's the first one to fall on the side of the boxes, so no res going to be available. Needs a big tire to make things happen, and that's going to be the Hanzo and the Mercy both taken down. Sassen does pay for that one with his life, however, as Jungmek fights over onto the top, on the high ground here, staying alive. First tick going to be surrendered over to MVP, as the remaining members try to stay alive, but with Undyne going down and Fuse just now respawning, it should be easy for Foxes to push in, but they're still nearly just giving up the point.
Yeah, almost gated out here by the tank line. This should be the retake, though. Oberon's forced off. A Toon comes in. Bianca's back now. They've got enough time for the respawns, but they will be shut down. So not the greatest start here for MVP Space. A lot of that came from the Riptire, though, which is why Junkrat's such a staple of this. He can do so much AoE damage in the chokes against the tanks.
And now some nice staggers as Oberon and Yaki both will be eliminated.
The Riptire, in that case, didn't kill the tanks that were on the point. It was so difficult to kill Oberon because Undyne had a Harmony Orb on him, and he was down to like 15% health, but it was slowly taking up. It's the most frustrating thing ever. You're like, oh, just kill the Reinhardt, somebody, but you can't break through. You don't have enough damage. This time they have the ults. If this push fails, we might be looking at a 1-1 scoreline here, but this should, in theory, work. The Riptire's not ready. They only have Transcendence really to shut this down. If Genie gets caught in the grab, then he's going to have to burn it early. If he gets caught in the shatter, then they lose. So
I mean, we're looking at nearly 5 now. Bianca almost there with the self-destruct. We're on pushing forward. It's going to be the grab coming in from the side of Yaki. Doesn't really find anything though. It's going to be Genie going down first.
Shatter though,
the first kill over on, locking them all in. He picks up 2 kills. That's going to be the cap. Now it's 4 minutes to go, not very far. I think we saw another Devour. It's so hard to tell it sometimes.
It did not.
But yeah,
we still need like a
another
thing for that, I think. But anyway, I digress on that one. Like, we definitely need that for casters, for observers. Hell, in games sometimes I'm like, wait, didn't he grab? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
But like, the key is, like, Genie got hit by the Shatter. That's the only thing that cannot happen. And you can maybe defend this. You keep your Junkrat alive, and then, you know, he pulls out a Riptire, does enough damage. But Genie got caught in the Shatter. He's still holding that Transcendence. It's a mark of shame that he still has it right now. Can use it to defend a little bit longer here, but they could have had a win, but now not the case. Now, very tough time.
Dangerously close to this point. Just opens things up, taking down a Toon. Looking for the shot there onto the Baby Diva. Not going to find it. Bianca should be able to make it back into the mech, but they do find a kill onto Undyne. So MVP Space still going to be getting slowed down here. I'd love to get that kill onto Yaki, but he's actually building up very rapidly for another Graviton Surge.
MVP Space is playing with fire. What they want is the Dragon Strike combo, but with how many Diva absorbs we've seen throughout the series, it's a big risk. They may just want to switch comps, but with 20% away, it's so tempting to just keep that, right? He gets caught by the trap.
Again.
But, like, look at what Sashin can do now on the high ground. There's no one to deal with them except the Diva here.
Well, that's going to be the tire coming through. Dropping it down. 17 HP, still managed to get the pop. Toon's going to fall over on, and Undyne also dead. Yaki joining. 2.5 minutes remaining with the ultimates on the way. They're going to have the grab dragon combo.
Yeah, and like many of the grabs we've seen in this map, I feel MVP Space is also consumed by their greed for this combo. They've eaten so much of their time bank trying to force this through. Yaki with 2 deaths attempting to get the last 20%. If this does not work, they're not going to have any ults for their more standard comp, so this has to come up big. No Riptire, that's one key thing. Like, that's one big deterrent that was already used.
Yeah, he can build it up rapidly, but Yaki, he needs to get some energy.
Oh,
he's at 0 at the moment.
There's a stun.
Yeah, they get the stun there onto Oberon. Oberon gets taken down after using the Earth Shatter. Justin Genie both going to fall Jin back into the back line. That's the Primal Rage. It's a knock away onto a Toon. Yaki's still holding on to that grab so far, has not used it.
There were a few opportunities, but he's just holding it so long here. He's going to top it here just to get Sasha.
Throws it down. That's going to be the Junkrat taken out.
It has to be this one.
Forward.
It has to be this push right now. And I think it might be.
Bianca. I mean, yeah, I mean, they're so close. It looked like an odd play, but they just had to get rid of that Junkrat. Genie coming in. Transcendent's going to be pocketed by Overwatch as well. Just trying to keep everybody alive. Cart. Less than 2 meters away as Stan gets taken out of that mech. They'll move him back. They'll break him. Charge forward. Overwatch falls. Tracer dashing in and out, just trying to delay this as long as they can, but everybody's just got no HP. Genie's gonna die. Team Wipe comes in. MVP Space will close out Blizzard World, but it was a bit of a struggle.
This is one of those maps where you look at a moment like that where Oberon shatters the D.Va, and while the D.Va's stunned, Yaki has an opportunity to throw the grab, but no one was really nearby, and it feels like, as MVP, like, okay, we're running this pop, we need to make this work, and then there's just a lack of communication when that moment happens, because that was the idea. That's why he solo shattered D.Va. I think it might have hit somebody else, but I think it was mostly just, okay, I shattered the D.Va, D-Matrix is not a thing, drop the grab, and we killed him. And Oberon died afterwards, and there was just a lack of coordination there. The fact the Foxes had their tanks killing the backline and they collapsed in there at the end, because this comp worked so well together, turtled, that you know, the Foxes weren't able to retake the point, but it was a close call there. And MVP Space took the gamble. They wanted to make this push happen with this comp, with the ults they had, but they failed the first few times. In the end, they did get that success, but that was a risk. Like, make no mistake, had that attack not worked and they had to switch to Winston Widow there and try to go through the same archway we were just talking about, they might have lost the map. So they took the risk. They played greedy with a comp that normally works out. I say greedy, but it's like a comp that when you have these ults, like, usually nothing goes wrong.
Yeah.
But because of the time bank they did not have, like, it was a little bit risky. Going back to like what I was originally going to say about all of these things is that this is one of those reminders that we are watching two of the teams that are likely to be relegated to trials, right? Like, this is not the highest level of play in Korea right now.
Exactly.
And there are some mistakes on both sides for sure.
Absolutely. That one, I wholeheartedly agree, and I don't think anyone could argue otherwise. So, yeah, rough around the edges. MVP Space still going to be leading in this series 2-0, so Foxes still have not picked up anything. 0-14 at the moment. Maybe 2 more chances to try to get a map win in here. Otherwise,
yeah.
One more victory for MVP Space. We'll go ahead and just make this at least a 3-1 series scoreline for them, if not the 4-0. We're going to go to a quick break, guys. When we come back, we'll see if Foxes can finally put something on the board or if they're just going to be moving to 0-16 after today.